Subscribe and watch a spine-chilling horror story, but don't forget to press the bell icon without getting scared. Mom, she's back again. Look, she's standing in the room staring at me. Why don't you people believe me? She's going to take me away. Son, there's no one in your room. You're imagining things. Take your medicines and sleep, my child. There's nothing here. I don't want to take any more medicines. Every time you make me sleep with these pills. She's right here near me. Her whole body is torn in places. Blood is oozing from her eyes. The more I scream, the more she smiles. Look, she's smiling at me even now. I don't know what's happening to my child. He must be seeing some evil spirit. I will go to the head priest today and bring a protective thread for him. Vinesh's mother, Madhuri, was extremely worried about her son's deteriorating condition. So that same day, she went to the head priest and brought a sacred thread to tie around her son's arm. No one could understand Vinesh's sudden change in behavior. He kept seeing a girl around him that no one else in the family could see. It was nighttime. Vinesh was resting in his room. In the middle of the night, his younger sister Rinki got thirsty and started heading towards the kitchen for water. Suddenly, she heard strange noises coming from Vinesh's room. Startled, she went to his door, but it was locked from the inside. She rushed to the window and saw her brother standing on the balcony railing, looking down. When he turned and looked at her, there was a terrifying smile on his face, one that chilled Rinki to the core. Before Rinki could react, Vinesh jumped. For a moment, Rinki's world went black. The next moment, a blood-curdling scream escaped her mouth. Her parents rushed to the scene, finding Rinki huddled, crying uncontrollably. Barely able to speak, she pointed towards Vinesh's room and broke down once again. The whole family soon learned of the tragedy, and the house descended into chaos. 3 days later, I wish I had taken him to the priest earlier. Maybe my son would still be alive today. Enough of these superstitions. There were no ghosts, no spirits. Your son was mentally ill, and that illness took his life. People like you waste time with rituals instead of seeking proper treatment. And when it's too late, you regret it. Yes, I was also wrong to believe all this, but what can we do now? What's done is done. Rinki is all we have left now. Rinki was only 18 when she saw her brother die in front of her eyes. The incident left a deep scar on her mind. After that, she distanced herself from everyone, barely speaking or smiling. She devoted herself entirely to her studies, as if possessed by a single-minded determination. Rinki, dear, what happened has happened. Locking yourself in your room like this won't change anything. You need to go out, meet friends. Mom, I want to become a psychiatrist. I want to help people like my brother who suffer from mental illness. I don't want anyone else to lose their life to this. 10 years later, through hard work and dedication, Rinki had become a successful psychiatrist. She chose to work in the critical care department, spending most of her time with severely ill patients. In every patient, she saw her brother Vinesh, and that drove her to do everything possible to help them. Doctor, we have a critical patient. Please come quickly, a nurse called out urgently. Rinki rushed towards the emergency ward. I'm not crazy. Go away, all of you. I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. You'll all die one by one. Then you'll know I was telling the truth. Calm down. No one is calling you crazy. The doctor will be here soon. There's no need to panic. Just take a deep breath. Death is standing right in front of me, and you're telling me to calm down. She will take me with her by tonight. Rinki, after calming the nurse, approached Anuj. Hey, look, I'm not here to hurt you. You're not sick. No medicines, No injections. I've even taken off my doctor's coat, see? You can trust me. Just talk to me for a bit. Tell me what's been going on. I'll listen. For a moment, Anuj calmed down. He sat on a chair, downed 2 glasses of water, and began talking. You won't believe me because you're a doctor. Even I didn't believe it at first. But after seeing my father die in that road accident, I realized death can be controlled by something else. Something beyond human power. Rinky tried to rationalize, but suddenly, Anuj grabbed a glass, broke it, and before anyone could stop him, he slit his throat. Blood spurted everywhere, but he kept smiling, even as he collapsed to the floor. The gruesome scene reminded Rinky of her brother's death, and she fainted. When she awoke, her mind was flooded with the bloody images of Anuj and Vinesh's faces, both grinning eerily. Unnerved, Rinky left the hospital and went home, trying to calm herself with a cup of coffee. But just as she settled down, the doorbell rang. When she opened the door, there was only a small envelope. Inside were 3 photos, one of Anuj, one of Vinesh, and the third of herself. In all 3 photos, their faces were cut and bloodied, yet smiling. And there was a 4th photo of someone she didn't recognize. Despite being a psychologist, Rinky felt fear gripping her heart as she glanced at the reflection in the fridge door, where she saw a figure standing behind her. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media for more bone-chilling tales. This story was written by Vinita Mota. Vijay was sitting in his office cabin in Mumbai, reviewing the progress of his horror channel. The progress was decent, but it had slightly slowed down compared to before. Concerned, he called Vinita, the story writer of the channel. Vinita, the story is great, but the views are a bit low. We need to think of something. You're right. I'll try to improve from my side. Why don't you talk to the others and get their suggestions? I did talk to them. Everyone is suggesting that the story should be more dialogue-based rather than just narration. Vinita listens to the sound of music in the background. Pune's Shaniwar Wada. You should write a story on Shaniwar Wada. I've heard some things about Shaniwar Wada, but I don't know much. I'll search for the story online. Or maybe it's better if I visit the place myself. The story shouldn't be fictional. I want it to be real. Okay, I'll plan something about Shaniwar Wada. This Saturday is a full moon. It's said that people avoid going there on full moon nights. Why don't you visit this weekend? After talking to Vijay, Vinita started preparing for her story. She first researched Shaniwar Wada online. She found that it was built by Peshwa Bajirao Fernster, a general of the Maratha Empire under Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj. After gathering more information from the web, she set off for Pune with her colleague Shraddha. Vinita, I've heard that the Peshwas ruled Shaniwar Wada for 85 years, but after that, the British took control. Yes, I've heard that too. Is it true that a spirit haunts the place? If you believe the stories, it's the spirit of an 18-year-old named Narayan Rao, who cries for help every full moon. Many people have claimed to hear his voice. And today is a full moon. Does that mean if the stories are true, we'll encounter Narayan Rao's spirit? I'm not sure if we'll face the spirit, but the palace certainly hides many secrets. Many have heard Narayan Rao's last words during the throne battle when he was betrayed and killed. His last words were, "Kaka, save me." It's said that even today people hear Narayan Rao's cries on full moon nights. So Narayan Rao's spirit is wandering because of the betrayal he faced? Yes, maybe. There's another story about this palace. In 1828, a massive fire broke out here, which burned for 7 days. A large part of the palace was destroyed, but the cause of the fire remains unknown to this day. This palace sounds more mysterious than I imagined. We'll find out once we get there. While talking, they finally arrived at Shaniwar Wada. The beauty of the palace was still intact, and both of them were amazed. The craftsmanship of the workers who built this palace is unmatched. It still looks so beautiful today. Shraddha, get the camera ready. We'll take some interviews and record the entire palace so that we don't face any problems while creating the vlog. And remember, we need to leave before nightfall. Both of them entered the palace while chatting. Shraddha was recording the palace, and Vanita was talking to people and taking notes in her diary. While recording, Shraddha reached an old part of the palace that had been damaged by the fire. There, she noticed a shadow. Mesmerized, she followed the shadow while recording, unaware of her surroundings. Suddenly, she felt a hot hand on her shoulder. Screaming, she turned around to find Vanita standing there. "What happened? Why are you here alone?" "Look there, over there." "Where?" "I don't see anything." "That must have been a tourist, but don't wander alone. We need to gather as much information as we can and leave soon. This palace is huge, and it'll take time to explore. So, no negative thoughts, okay? Stay close to me. We'll be fine." As they continued, Shraddha started taking photos. Suddenly, through the camera, she saw fresh bloodstains on a wall. The blood seemed to be dripping. Startled, she looked at the wall without the camera, but there were no stains. She thought it was just her imagination and quickly moved closer to Vanita. While Vanita was talking to someone, Shraddha noticed a Maratha soldier with red eyes glaring at her from behind Vanita. Scared, she backed away and accidentally bumped into a hidden door in the wall, which led to a secret room. She found herself in darkness, unable to find a way out. She started calling for Vanita. "Vanita, where are you? Please help me. Vanita, this way." Vanita realized after a while that Shraddha was missing. She tried calling her phone, but it was out of reach. "Where did she go? I can't even reach her. It's getting late and we need to leave. Shraddha, where are you? Please, stop joking." Unsure of what to do, Vanita started sweating from fear. Most of the tourists had already left the palace, and the remaining few were being escorted out by the guards. "Ma'am, please leave now. The palace is about to close and everyone has to leave." "My colleague is missing. Please help me find her. She must have left with the others. You'll find her outside. But for now, you need to leave." The guard walked away to escort the remaining people. "Shraddha can't leave without telling me. She must still be in the palace. But where?" While Vanita was searching for Shraddha, Shraddha was trying to find her way out of the dark room. As she wandered, she entered another room where an 18-year-old boy in Maratha attire stood, along with an elderly man, Raghoba. "Uncle, I've been declared Peshwa at such a young age, but I'm not ready to handle this responsibility. We'll see how capable you are in the coming time. For now, a special meeting is arranged tonight. Get ready to attend."